What's going on, guys? My name is Jeffrey Rodriguez, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the best times to trade the Forex markets. So if you're new to the channel and this is the first time that you've ever seen one of my videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that way you never miss a video. And let's go ahead and get right into today's video. So the best times to trade the Forex markets, they're going to be between three different times. You have Asia session, London session, and New York session. All three of those times or time frames are going to take place during respective trading times in those countries. So those times are going to vary based on where you live. If you're trying to trade outside of those session times, typically you're going to get stuck in a consolidation. So me primarily, I like to trade during session times to avoid getting stuck in a consolidation and also have the ability to capture more volatility in the market and potentially catch bigger moves. So me personally, I'd rather trade during session times, and that's actually a part of my trading plan, is to make sure that I'm trading within a session time. Keep in mind, guys, certain pairs are going to move more or less during specific times. So for example, AUD USD and USD JPY is going to, both of those pairs are going to move more during Asia session rather than London session or New York session. Whereas during London session, Euro and cable GBP USD will typically move a lot more during those sessions than like Asia session or something like that. So just watch out for things like that, and also make sure you're always journaling whenever you take trades or watching the markets, because by journaling you'll be able to notice specific patterns and little things that certain pairs will do during certain times or specific days, and by you noticing that, you'll be able to implement that going forward into future trades and potentially catch bigger moves. Alright guys, so Asia session is going to take place from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, make sure to adjust for the time difference. London session is from 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So again, make sure to adjust for the time difference. And New York session is going to be from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. again Pacific Standard Time. Typically, my favorite session to trade, guys, is London session, because where I'm at on the West Coast, I'd rather stay up later than wake up earlier. So I like to trade GBP USD or Euro USD during the London session. Typically, I just like to trade during the session, not really hold for longer than a day or so. So I prefer either just like a scalp or an intraday move, or possibly a day trade, but not really a swing trade or anything like that. That's just my personal preference and the session that I like to trade. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the charts, and I'll show you some of the movement we get during these specific session times. Now we are looking at the charts, and I just want to go in detail a little bit about what I was talking about in terms of the session times. So you can see I've marked out for this chart we have NZD USD, and I'm on an hourly time frame. Typically it's good to go through your charts and mark up your session times like this and previous price action to see what the specific pair that you're trading actually did during those times and how it reacted. So this is just an example of one day, but I highly recommend going back and testing 10, 20, 30 days worth of price action day by day, and then journaling in a little notebook, like this, and then in your notebook you can just write down day by day what the market did at specific times and then how it reacted based off of that. In terms of this, we have Asia session for NZD USD. Primarily, NZD USD is a little bit more active than in Asia session, but for this example, yesterday you could see we had a lot of movement during London session. Now that we've got our session times marked out, you would have to look at this and figure out how you would enter a trade based off of this. But just by simply marking this out alone, you could see that the majority of price action happened during London session for NZD USD yesterday. So in New York session, you had a little bit of a counter trend trade reversal. In Asia session, it was mainly a consolidation. You would have wanted to take place during London session, right? So in order for you to get on board this, you would have to know, specific things in terms of the charts, higher time frame resistance levels, break in market structure, entry patterns, all that stuff. And if you don't know any of that stuff, guys, then using these session times isn't as beneficial because you're not getting the full advantage of them. By implementing that with your knowledge of higher time frame support and resistance, define and break a market structure, all that stuff, compiling the two together gives you a much clearer read on price action. So I highly recommend that you guys go through your charts, study these session times, figure out what your pair that you like to trade, whether that's USD JPY, AUD USD, GBP USD, it doesn't matter what your pair is. Figure out which session time is best for your pair that you primarily trade. So that could be different for any specific pair, guys, but you have to go through and spend the time in the charts in order to figure out which session time is going to be best for you and which actually fits your schedule the best. So in terms of me specifically, guys, like I said, I like GBP USD, so you get a lot of movement like this in GBP USD, but we did see some nice movement in NZD USD. Now, guys, if you want to learn a little bit more about how I place my entries and my favorite entry patterns, as well as what is all this stuff I'm talking about in terms of a break-in market structure, I'm actually going to link those two videos right below this video, as well as after this video, you'll notice them linked right above. So whenever you click the video, then you'll be able to figure out my favorite entry patterns as well as how I define a break-in market structure. Now, those two things are going to be key in terms of development for you implementing the session times. So by compiling all that stuff together, you should have a lot clearer read on price action, as well as hopefully become more profitable than you have been. So I hope this video helps, guys, and if you have any questions, leave them below in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. See you guys in the next one.